Hey guys, what's up? Yes, I'm here in my room. Today has been a great day and I was just about to do my homework. Hey, look at my dog Nelly, where you going? Oh, and look at the floor. There are footprints. Wow, words are appearing. And if we put them all together, there's a question. Let's read it. How often do you practice sports? All right, pay attention. When you find these words in a question, how often, the answer might include one of these words, the adverbs of frequency. Let us start with the first one, always. That word might point that we do something like every single day or very, very frequently. Then we have usually. That means we do that thing a little bit less, maybe 4 or 5 times per week, okay? Then we have sometimes, and that word points that we do something the half of the time, okay? 50%. And we go then to hardly ever. Those two words point that we don't do things that often. And the last one, never, that word indicates that we don't do those things at all, okay? So let's answer that first question. How often do you practice sports? Okay, how often do I practice sports? Let me tell you. Mondays I play basketball. On Wednesdays, I go skating. On Fridays, I ride my bike. And Saturdays and Sundays, I go swimming. That's 5 days. Okay, so not always, not the 7 days of the week, but usually. Okay, I practice sports usually. Let's write down that sentence. I usually practice sports or I practice sports usually. Both are fine, okay? Hey, great! We got a bone for my dog. All right. Second question. Let's see what comes up here. How often do you read books? How often do I read books? Well, the answer is I read always in school, like every day. But at home, sometimes, yes, the half of the time. So, yes, that is what I'm going to say. I read books sometimes at home or sometimes I read books at home. Both are fine. And another bone. Yes. Let's move on to another question. How often do you go to nature? How often do you go to nature? Okay. All right. And I'm going to say usually, yes, again, with my family, we go very often to the forest. On weekends, we go always. But regularly, between weekly days, yeah, we might go 2-3 times to parks. So let's just say I usually go to the nature or I go to the nature usually, okay? Both are fine again. Remember that we can put the adverbs of frequency at the beginning of the sentences or at the end. Okay, one more question. How often do you eat candies? Oh, I know that. Never. I never eat candies. They are not good for my teeth and they're not good for my stomach either. So that is what I'm going to do. I never eat candies. And see that in here, we cannot put never at the end of the sentence. It doesn't make sense. So we just need to say, I never eat candies. Is it clear? Hope so.
Compra nuestros cuadernos y aprende desde donde quieras. Tienes un método súper intuitivo y fácil público en nuestra web. Solo tienes que seguir el orden de las imágenes, ver nuestros vídeos donde jugamos con gramática y sobre todo hacer las actividades con nuestro equipo. De esta manera, tus hijos nunca más harán los deberes solo y sobre todo aseguras que aprenden gramática de una manera natural, la mejor manera de practicar inglés desde casa.
Hello children, are you ready to learn with us the adverbs of frequency? Have you seen the videos? Yes! The adverbs of frequency, such as these we have in here, are words we use to talk about how often we do things. Always means that we do something all the time, like brushing your teeth every day, right? Usually, it's when you do something most of the time, like eating breakfast in the morning, but maybe some days you don't eat breakfast. Sometimes is half time, right? And hardly ever is a few times. Never means not at all, okay? So let's go for the first activity here. We have, what does each adverb mean? Circle the adverbs. We need to find these words in these sentences. We need to circle them and write down the 10% each adverb points. Look, we have them here. Always, let me just help you. I'm going to use this light blue instead of pens. So always is 100%, like all the time. Usually is 85%. Sometimes is 50%. Hardly ever is 30%. And never is 0, okay? So let's find these adverbs in here. Read with me the first sentence. She always brushes her teeth before bedtime. Where is the adverb? She always. Look, what I'm going to do is to trace over the word ALWAYS and I'm going to circle it. She always brushes her teeth before bedtime. And that is, what is the 10%? Always is pointing to 100, okay? So 100 is always, yes? Let's go for the second sentence. We usually play soccer on Saturdays. What is the adverb in here? We usually, right? Usually. So let's just trace over and circle it. We usually, and usually points, as we said before, 85% of the time. Let's go and read the third sentence. Sometimes he eats ice cream after dinner. Sometimes is the adverb. So SOMETIMES and I circle it. Sometimes is the 50% of the time. Great. I hardly ever forget my keys at home. I hardly ever. Hardly ever is how often? The 30% of the time, right? Like just few times. So hardly ever. I hardly ever forget my keys at home. And hardly ever is the 30% of the time. They never arrive late to school. Like they are always on time. And never is the adverb we have. Never. They never arrive late to school. And we have a 0%. And there is an extra sentence. The cat is never outside in the rain. So we have again twice never. The cat is never. And these two sentences point not at all, right? Good job, kids. Let's keep learning about the adverbs of frequency.